Hello, good day. My name is John Dampil. I'm a Master of Science in Computer Engineering student from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And today we are given the opportunity to do a webinar review. So, title of the webinar that we are going to review and going to be providing feedbacks with is Robotics Process Automation, or RPA. So let's first discuss who is the research author for this, or should I say, the webinar presenter for this wonderful topic, and none other than Engineer Kenneth Balobalo. He's a PS Computer Engineering student from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, and he is batch 2014. He is also a certified RPA professional on multiple platforms, and at the same time he is working as an RPA solutions architect slash RPA team lead at Total EVIS Solutions Property Limited, based in Singapore. So he's a Filipino engineer, Filipino computer engineer based in Singapore and working as an RPA developer. So let us first define what is RPA. So RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. So basically it is a software technology that makes it easy to build, deploy, and manage software robots that emulate human actions interacting with digital systems and software. So just like people, software robots can do things like understanding what's on the screen, complete the right keystrokes, navigate systems, and identify and extract data and perform wide range of defined actions. So basically, RPA is mainly used to automate repetitive tasks in any organization, such as inputting data on a let's say an invoicing tool, like Engineer Kenneth provided as his example. So we can use RPA to implement automation for those for such repetitive tasks, and so that humans or the actual staff can focus more on doing logical and decision-based tasks, so that they can move on and grow with their career. Next, robotic process automation streamlines workflows, which makes organization more profitable, flexible, and responsive. It also increases employee satisfaction, engagement, and productivity by removing mundane tasks from their workdays. Also, this is achieved because if we are eliminating the human factor, there's much more chance that it will be done properly and faster. So there's less room for human error. So what are the benefits of RPA? So this was from appliedai.com. So first is customer satisfaction, as mentioned, reduction in the manual errors caused by humans, faster service because it's not fully automated. Next will be the analytics, so improved data quality, increased scope for data collection. Overall benefit for the HR, like reduced churn and brand boost. Compliance, reduce human contact with sensitive data, and reduce fraud. So there's less fraudulent attempts in here because it's the AI that's doing the work for you, and since there's less human interaction, then AI does not store any sensitive data. Let's say, even though it was able to see your password or read through your password, it will not store it on any memory location where someone can access it. So it's not like that. So once it's just gonna purely use it for the access if it's using one, and then once that's done, it's just process everything, and it does not record or store any of your confidential information. So the overall benefits will be improved business results, like mentioned, less human errors, more productivity, and reduced wage costs. So for the presentation participants, since I also attended the webinar earlier, so we can say that the webinar presentation included also our instructor, should I say, Dr. Ryan Evangelista, for our artificial intelligence subject in the master's program for computer engineering at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, and along with other RPA professionals in the industry, both based in the Philippines and Singapore. We can also include the past individuals who were given a chance to review and attend Engineer Kenneth's workshop regarding the RPA. So someone might also have been given the wonderful chance to read or to listen to Engineer Kenneth's presentation. So we can include them technically in the presentation participants as well. So the goals and objective of this is to give us an introduction on what is robot process automation and how it can help businesses and improve overall performance and productivity. It also aims to provide us with the basic details for us to understand the platform on how it works and how us humans will benefit the most by implementing and learning this technology. So if we look into it, for example, robot process automation, so it seems like robotics or artificial intelligence is taking over some of our tasks, but technically they are not taking over, so there is no reason to worry about humans becoming less superior or becoming inferior to AI. So it's not like that. That's not the goal of this RPA. So the thought is, how can us humans utilize technology and artificial intelligence to be more productive and for us to able to achieve our goals in a timely manner, cost efficient, and at the same time less errors. So that's the goal of RPA. So it's basically a tool for us humans to use it, not as a competitor or an enemy that we should be aware of, or we should be careful because it might be someday superior to us. No, because humans are still the ones designing and developing these RPA tools. So technically we are still superior and will always be superior with technology. So the other objective is so the objective of RPA is to automate repeatable and likely boring business tasks, like we mentioned, in order for us to allow employees to use their skills to work on more complex ones requiring advanced problem solving. So basically that's the main goal, to take off that excessive, repetitive, boring load. We Filipinos have that phrase that we always say when we are given the chance or when we are given the task that's repetitive. We always say like, para na tayong robot dito sa ginagawa natin. So it describes like we are mindless. We are doing things without utilizing our brains or without mindless tasks, or should I say. That means that you are doing something that you can, or we also have this other phrase that kaya ko yang gawin kahit nakapikit ako. That means you don't need to think about it because you are just following a rule. So basically these are rule-based tasks that I don't care what I do, as long as I follow the rules, okay na ako. So that's the target of RPA, to eliminate those so that myself and even the other engineers around can focus more. Okay, I don't have to do this stuff. I don't have to do this repetitive task. I have more workload. I can focus on these very important ones that needs my decision making for my role, that needs these projects implemented, so that I can put my time and management into them. So that's the purpose. So regarding the information presentation, so Engineer Kenneth Balabala presented the RPA webinar workshop based on his experience as an RPA engineer. So he's very technical. You can sense that he has extensive knowledge and experience on this field. So he was able to deliver and present it for us to better understand. Like me, I'm not I'm using RPA a little bit in my job, but not like his experience that his day is already circulating around RPA. So you can always see the experience and the knowledge that he has on this field, and that even though for me as a beginner using this technology, I was able to understand and get a firm grasp of the topic and what are its benefits. So the speaker also presented the different roles in the RPA management, the different tools, software that we can use. He has also provided infos regarding the structure and life cycle of our RPA system. Lastly, he provided the different types of automations and the tools that we can use to implement them. So these are the types of automation that he discussed. We have attended, a robot, and unattended robot. So for example, if it's an attended robot, it means that it needs a human interaction to trigger it. An attended robot, it acts on its own. Okay? So he also provided info regarding the structure and life cycle of an RPA. So this is basically just a disclaimer. So these screenshots came from his presentation. So it's not my intention to plagiarize or use them for any or steal his intellectual property. So these are just purely for presentation as part of our requirements for the subject. Okay, so this is purely his intellectual properties, these images that I have in here. So it shows here the workflow, or similar to a flow chart, how it started as an idea workshop. Is it standardized or not? Create the process design document and the solutions design document up until you can monitor it once it's implemented, if it requires any further improvements or not, and once all good and tested, it can be scalable into different departments, different businesses, different companies, and even different countries. So also he have provided us the tasks or the tools that we can use. So the most common ones are UiPath, Blue Prism. In my career, I'm using Microsoft Power Automate. So it's also an RPA tool where you can automate things such as sending emails whenever you're out of office, or sending a job, print job or scan job to your colleagues whenever you're out. So we are also using Microsoft Power Automate. It's also similar to how UiPath, which was recommended by Engineer Kenneth as well, since it's the leading application used for this type of projects. So the results of the workshop with Engineer Kenneth's vast knowledge and expertise, we are able to understand the system, how it is planned, developed, and maintained. It opened opportunities available both here and abroad for us IT engineers who seek careers in the automation industry. So we have learned that building an RPA project is not just like a simple desktop that you need to set up. It's an entire project that requires a sponsor, champion, change manager, analyst, solutions architect, RPA developer, engineer, and supervisor, and service support when it's implemented. So basically all of these roles needs to be collective and interacting with each other so that they can implement a single project. Okay, so it's not just a developer that's doing it. It also have an infra engineer, an architect, and a supervisor, and everything. Basically, it's a full project that needs to be done and scheduled and monitored and maintained. We are also able to understand the technology and weigh the benefits that we can get from it and implement it properly into the organization. It's also provided us with basic knowledge how the life cycle works and the application that we can use to practice the system. So this is basically the RPA life cycle, starting from the process identification up to the operational support once it's already up and running. So feedback for his demonstration is that the overall webinar is well presented and packed with the details that we need to have. We need to have a basic understanding how RPA works and managed. So like I said earlier, it's very clear, precise, and very informational because of the vast experience of Engineer Kenneth in this technology. He was able to explain it even though you are not actually using RPA on your career. You will be able to get an idea how it is used and what's its function. Also, I really appreciate that he provided a video presentation for a sample UiPath RPA development. So with that, I can say that, okay, this is similar to what I do with Microsoft Power Automate. So I was able to ring a bell in my mind like, okay, somehow I'm already part of this revolution and I'm already implementing in my career. So if I want to pursue this furthermore, I can